This week on Pirate Parlay, Lutz will be interviewing Captain Draeth from Pirate Chain's early days and inception, along with its bright future ahead. Also joining us as our special guest from Komodo, Otto, to discuss AtomicDEX and possible integration into Pirate Chain. Here is your host, Fleet Commander Lutz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly meeting. Welcome Captain Draeth and Otto, special guest today. And you guys, we've been doing a lot of things recently. I know we've been out of the office, per se, but we're coming back to the office for a couple weeks. And then we have a few more events that we'll be participating in, which we could talk a little bit more about later. But we'll be doing events at possibly Florida and possibly Texas, and possibly both. We don't know yet. But at this point, it looks good. It looks like we got a month full of events to come. So that's very exciting for Pirate. So is Draeth here with us? Welcome, Draeth. Welcome, Captain Draeth. This is the captain.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Good to be here.
So we've been on a long road together, man. Me and Draeth, we jumped on this ship almost together.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when we started, there was another crew before us, right? I'll call them the creators. And then we came along, right? And we saw some things that were missing, and we made them better. We saw some roles that were needed, and a lot of work that needed to be done that no one was doing. So it was Draeth, me, House, Crypto Fist, Wookie, Tax. Yep. I mean, Akosius. We had like a good crew of maybe like 50 people at the time. So when we performed our coup, we jumped in and we just decided to do it. Most of us were very established in crypto as it was. We already knew about crypto. None of us were newbies, right? So, it was a great group of people that just came together, to do the whole other side of things, so the developers had things handled already. So, there was another side missing. And when the last leg of that side, left, I think that was Fishy Guts at the time, we picked up that slack that we saw a void, that needed to get filled. So how has your experience been being the captain of Pirates so far, Dre?
Well, it's probably 90% fun / enjoyable, with 10% being, sometimes frustrating, dealing with exchanges or dealing with people outside of Pirate and things like that, But, I mean, to me, the crew that basically pushed the project forward when that void was there is like basically like my second family, or actually my family in general, because, we work so closely together and we know each other extremely well at this point. There's times where like we'll be up until at least like 3:00 in the morning my time, just talking about ideas or just bullshitting here and there just to relax and, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. I absolutely love being a captain of Pirate Chain.
It kind of feels like a clubhouse sometimes. It's like being part of a clubhouse.
Yeah, you can say that.
Not that I've ever been part of a clubhouse, but that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I mean, it's just, as for those of you that are old enough to remember the show Cheers, it's like, when, say, me and Lutz are in the middle of a discussion on something in one of our channels, and then, say like Wookie jumps in, we're like, hey, what's going on, Wookie? Things like that. Like, if you ever seen the show Cheers, what I'm talking about.
Norm!
Yeah, exactly.
I can never understand why they always shouted his name every time he walked in. It was funny as hell. So, we've done a lot in the past, a lot of things, a lot of new people that are here today, don't know the things we have been doing for Pirate. And it goes way back, all the way to the late nights, to the Cayman Islands, where we sponsored Pirate Festival in the Cayman Islands. A lot of people don't know about that, but that was a major event, and we really kicked ass over there. So Anarchapulco wasn't the first one we ever did. We've done this before. I hope we do more now consecutively. Some more events like this. Do you plan on doing any events, Draeth? Any coming events? I mentioned Miami.
Well, virtual events for sure. As far as in-person events, absolutely as well. It just depends on timing and things like that, because one thing we want to make sure of is that whenever we see an event that we're interested in sponsoring, we need to make sure that we have enough time for planning for all the content that needs to be created, the marketing, and all that other stuff too. So, preferably we'd like it to be at least a month and a half, 2 months in advance if we're going to do some sort of event. So, and there are several coming up this year that we can probably attend. I did some digging last night as far as various events, and there's a couple that I spotted that we can definitely dig into and see what we can do about it.
If I threw a theoretical problem at you, say that there's a service out there that charges a ridiculous amount of money to be part of their service. What's your thoughts? Do you think we should be part of it, or is it possible that down the line, further down the road, we may not even need those services anymore?
Well, it's part of the cost to benefit analysis that you have to do. So, for example, if this service is, say, probably going to be the most dominant service in the next decade potentially, if that would grow us some insane amount of users and things like that, and adoption wise. But if not, and the future is semi-uncertain, because in crypto everything is pretty much uncertain, because you never know, then probably not.
Right, and that was my thoughts exactly. We have Komodo here. We have Otto from Komodo. Welcome, Otto, to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So we have Draeth and Otto here, and Otto, I really would love to learn more about the AtomicDEX that you guys are building on Komodo. We've had BTDEX on, we've had Cordal on, we've had EtherSwap, different exchanges that are being made, but we haven't heard much about AtomicDEX. So I was hoping you could tell us, what's going on with that. How does it work? What platforms is it on? How do people get involved?
Sure. So if I were to quickly try to explain AtomicDEX to someone who hasn't heard about it yet, it's a different type of DEX technology based on atomic swaps, and it has some major differences to other type of DEXs, like, let's say, Uniswap. And the big benefit is that it's a cross-protocol, meaning that you can trade with the native coins and tokens. So you can be using Bitcoin or Litecoin or Komodo or Ethereum or ERC20 tokens, and soon Binance Smart Chains and so forth. And then you hold tokens in a non-custodial wallet. So you hold the keys, you hold your coins, and then you can swap them without trust to another token or coin. So you could buy Ethereum with Bitcoin. And there's no real way.
Can I do that all within the mobile wallet?
Yeah, that's right. There's the mobile wallet and desktop wallet, and also we have vision for a web DEX. So you would be able to trade from a browser.
Draeth, didn't you say that, we were thinking about getting on the Binance instead of the Ethereum?
Yeah, so in other words, we're planning on making a BSC token instead of an F token, because a lot of users are migrating over to BSC now because of the gas fees on F.
So for a BSC token, Otto, does that mean that we could participate now on AtomicDEX and be part of the mobile wallet and exchange, do atomic swaps within the mobile wallet?
Oh yeah, well, in that case, yes. The the integration isn't done yet, so the wallet today doesn't support binary smart chains, PLCs, but that's coming at some point in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I'm guessing by the time that's done, we'll be pretty much done as well. I think it'll come to like a point where it'll probably be just a month away between when we're done getting it implemented and when you're done. So that looks like a great alternative.
Yeah, but
something like
as far as I know, man. Yeah, well, as far as I know, I believe a way has been figured out to have Pirate Chain on the AtomicDEX natively. So it's just a matter of getting it done. So we may not even need to have the BSC token of Pirate on there. We could have it in Pirate natively potentially.
Oh, I heard about that. Is that using the XMR atomic swap technology that just came out?
I think so. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm not too deep enough technically to comment. And the way I understand it, it's harder because of course like Pirate is 100% private, right? And it's just the G or the private transactions, and then making atomic swap with those, there's some difficulties. So then if it's impossible or there's a way, like maybe, but yeah, I don't know actually about that one, but maybe you guys are more aware of the
I heard a rumor.
Possibilities.
I heard a
rumors.
Yeah, I definitely heard that rumor as well. I hope it's true. I hope a developer could come on here and confirm this for us.
There is like a sub-atomic swaps being developed by as an author project, but it's based on different technology, and that is sometimes mixed up with the atomic swap technology that AtomicDEX is based on.
Yeah, it's off-chain. It's another solution, but a lot of people are going to have problems with the fact that it's not on-chain. It's got some drawbacks to it. But I'm hoping that it works out. You know, we're still working on that as well. The Shirley you're talking about?
Yeah, Shirley. Yep. That's it. Pass it in there.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. We got a couple of guys also playing with it. I think that technology is really good for like the streaming and messaging, right? Because it like deletes in 1 hour. So I think it has its use case. I just don't think it's an exchange. It might be really good for maybe an escrow, right? Maybe something like, maybe the GUI doesn't look like an exchange, a typical exchange. Maybe if the GUI looked more like localmonero.co. If the GUI looked like that, it might work better. Surely might actually work really well using that type of GUI, where it's more like, drop down menus and interacting. It's a little different. And just something to think about. So what are your plans with the Binance coin, Draeth? Is that in the works? How far away are we from?
Yes, so long story short, I have a side project that I'm working on to build something pretty damn awesome, but to build it, I'm getting a BSC gateway built from Polarity, right? So, since that hasn't been built before, that's currently in progress of being built, and once that is built, then that can be utilized for Pirate as well. So, essentially, all the services for it to get that created have already been paid for, too. So, there shouldn't be anything that needs to be paid for on Pirate's end to create a gateway for Pirate to be on BSC, right? So from that point, after that's built, the token will be built as well. And what I'm planning on doing is giving users an option to stake that token. Now, the cool feature about that is if you stake that token, I'm still up in the air as far as like how to reward users for staking it, because it'll come from somewhere. It's not going to be obviously magically appear out of nowhere, because
the trade.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one aspect of it. You can have what is it called? A transaction fee, or you can have sell fees on, say like PancakeSwap, things like that, to where if you provide liquidity on PancakeSwap and you can stake that liquidity, what happens is you can have a percentage of whatever's sold on that exchange, portioned out to the people providing liquidity. So, for example, one of the trains of thought that I had was, say, 1% of a sell order on PancakeSwap is used as a tax. So I get taxed 1% for selling however many tokens on PancakeSwap, and that 1% gets split among the people providing liquidity. This will incentivize the people providing liquidity because they're getting paid to do so, and also create a massive amount of liquidity at that because, if you're getting paid to provide liquidity, who doesn't want to do that? So a lot more people provide liquidity, and our liquidity depth will be huge. So it'll work for us in a lot of different ways to our benefit. So on top of all that, you'll have people from BSC interested in looking at and are checking out our token and stuff like that. And then, having the ability to break linkages between wallets by unwrapping and rewrapping and things like that. So there's a lot of cool benefits that we can get from this. So
cool. Is it possible to work with DEXs like AtomicDEX to do the staking?
The staking, no. Let me rephrase that. It all depends on the tax that's implemented on it, right? So we could say, for example, do a 1% transaction tax, meaning that every transaction that goes through the network, that can, say I send funds to you, right? 1% of that will be taxed and given to liquidity providers or anything of that extent, or just people just staking, that token in general, not necessarily liquidity, but liquidity is always good to have, which is why I say, it's probably best we do it that way. So, like I said, there's a lot of different ways we can attack that. And, I've thought of quite a few so far, but, if we want to list, that token on any other exchange, that is possible and a lot easier to do than integrating the coin itself. Although we would like to integrate our coin, some exchanges only deal with, say, like F tokens or BSC tokens and things like that, and plus with the push to get on DEXs, PancakeSwap is a fantastic DEX to be on, and you don't have to even apply. You just provide liquidity for your token that's on BSC and you're done.
That's awesome. And that's the way it should be. So, Otto, has Komodo ever thought of wrapping Komodo? Having a wrapped version of Komodo?
Yeah, that actually has been, also considered an idea has been thrown around. There's no plan, like anything that I could say for sure at the moment about that. But it's something like in our minds, like how could we expand, kind of reach out to integrate more to other ecosystems, and that's a lot in the Komodo ethos. And we do want to bridge different ecosystems together, and that's all what AtomicDEX is about. So then also the idea is that, well, what if we make a wrapped KMD? And actually, like we are on the as a Pioneer Smart Chain, right? That was a very recent announcement. So actually that happened already. And but we are also considering for other possibilities, but there's no decisions yet.
You guys getting ready for notary node elections this year?
Yep, those are coming, and there's actually a bunch of stuff coming up. So notary node elections, we just announced them a few days ago. There's a recent blog post that can be found from our website. Candidates can leave their profiles to GitHub, join the elections. There's a cutoff date when the time when that has to be done, and all the details on the blog post. We also have events coming up. So actually this Saturday we have a BBSAA webinar event starting at 6 p.m. UTC on Komodo YouTube, and we have web page about that just went live a few hours ago. I can put it to the chat. The URL is commonwealth.com/n/events/ppsaa-webinar.html. Maybe I will put this link to you guys. And another big event, if I can just go keep going with this, the kind of the highlight of the year for Komodo will be in June. We are already preparing for June blockchain conference, and we are very much looking to collaborate with different projects, including, and of course, with Pirate and with PPSAA. And we're quite excited about that. And just today we already had our first brainstorm about what that all could be about, and there are some exciting opportunities for us.
Oh, nice. All right. So, you got events happening. Your marketing crew looks like they're doing stuff. How do people get started with AtomicDEX if they want to try using it? They want to try using it to trade on. And guys, this is like Exodus. You jump in there and you got a whole bunch of different wallets, that you could use, like a multi-wallet, and you could trade within the wallet, which is kind of cool. Just like Exodus. So how would people get started, Otto, if they wanted to? Where would they go to start using AtomicDEX?
Best start is the website, AtomicDEX.io, or you can also find the download links from commonwealth.com. And then just get the app to your device, whatever that is, desktop, Linux or Windows or Mac, or then for your phone. And then it's a simply normal wallet creation process. So the app is going to give you a seed, and then you back that up and store in a secure place offline. And that seed then that's the key to all the coins you hold on the app. So that's the one thing you have to keep secure. And with the seed, you could restore it even if, let's say, your phone breaks down. But if you have the seed, you can restore your entire portfolio. And once you have the seed, then you simply deposit some coins to AtomicDEX, and then you can make atomic swaps and start trading. As simple as that.
Nice. Awesome, bro. Thank you. And we're not gonna keep you much longer, brother. Thank you for joining us today. Captain Draeth, we're not gonna make this a long show. It doesn't need to be an hour every week. And any closing remarks, guys?
No, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
You're the man, Otto. Me and Otto, we go back a long way.
Yeah, been around for a long time. That's true. Okay.
We're old school.
It's late for me.
Old school people.
I'm on the other side of the world, so I'm going to drop off.
Hey, brother, get to bed. Love you. Thanks for coming, man.
Bye.
All right, and that was Otto, guys, from the Komodo platform. If you guys don't know Komodo, that's kind of our birthplace. The geniuses from Komodo helped make Pirate, or if not, made Pirate. Definitely made Pirate. So, we always treasure their inputs. Captain Draeth, you still here?
Yeah, one thing you could say is that the ship, the good ship Pirate Chain, was birthed from the Komodo Islands, and then took on its voyage of its own.
On a 3-hour tour.
So I would like to just chime in with one quick thing.
Yeah, Polly.
If you guys go the route of getting wrapped on a Binance Smart Chain, I know we are working currently on atomic swaps between BSC tokens and other ecosystems with AtomicDEX. So that would provide a decentralized way of trading. Though it would just be the token, you wouldn't have the native privacy found with Pirate. But it's like intermediate state. Eventually we hope to get full private swaps going on. But it's a harder task than it initially appeared.
Hey, Polly, did you hear about using XMR's method of atomic swaps with Pirate?
Yes. There's certain things with atomic swaps. So it looks like it could be used for Pirate, and my understanding has been used also with chains like DAG style chains like Nano as well. So that's a good thing. But just the general atomic swap process, we might have to just, there's some experimenting with it that we have to do because it's a little bit different than, than what we are currently doing. And, we just have to make sure everything matches up right logically. Nobody's all right.
You feel free to offer my sister to any one of the developers, just to make them work faster. That would be amazing. That sounds great.
I mean, we hope to get somebody eventually here that like a full stack dev that just is going to focus on different protocol integrations. But it'll be a little bit for that, but that is in the plan.
Ah, man, this is exciting times. Thank you, XMR. You see, that's why we need more privacy coins to solve the similar problems, because we all have similar problems, right? It's just the nature of privacy. All right, guys, that sounds great. Polly, any more input you could throw on AtomicDEX for the people?
Yeah, sure. So AtomicDEX, we've been building this out for a while, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but we still have a good bit of testing and things to add and stuff in before I would really call it production app. So I would say we're really public beta with it now, like a full real public beta, like where we're just any comers who want to use the app. Obviously we've been promoting it, but the technology that's in it currently is really just the beginning for AtomicDEX. So we have visions of it being kind of like a centralized, or not centralized. Well, I guess centralized is the right word, but not in the sense of single person controlling everything, but in the sense of all the different things that you need for crypto trading or your just general crypto usage all being in one spot. Because, having access to, dozens of different apps and stuff to, do what you want is, it's a pain in the butt. Everyone, feels that grief. So that's one of the methods, that, we're working on. Another is, with the atomic swap protocol itself, we're investigating, several different, improvements, on at many different levels, from networking level, from interface level, from the, even like I said, the core protocol itself, the actual swap process itself, and that atomic swaps are really, how we see them now as a currency exchange is really just the tip of the iceberg. People are very underestimating this technology, and mainly because it's, currently it's more convenient to put coins on a proxy token gateway or a centralized exchange, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of projects out there that are private chains, permission chains, whatever. For some reason, they don't want to, be part of the traditional crypto world. They still want to interconnect with other platforms, but they don't necessarily want to send their coins over onto another platform, especially if it's a smaller platform that's not as battle tested or whatever. So atomic swaps allow these parties who have their own proprietary or permissioned style chains or private chains to be able to still exchange amongst each other, and with one important feature of instant settlement. So is that when a trade is done, it's done. The funds are already where they're supposed to be. There's no withdrawing and such. So, in the future, we're going to see a lot of improvements to AtomicDEX. So it's still very early, I would say, in the atomic swap.
Have you ever heard of the Exodus wallet?
Yes, yeah, it was pretty old.
How does AtomicDEX compare?
Well, it's kind of a little bit different. So both multi-coin wallets, as for one. We offer a good bit of coins that, you wouldn't find in Exodus, especially smaller cap coins. I believe Exodus has some instant exchange and also a MetaMask, a way of accessing the ETH DEXs. where ours is primarily focused on our own atomic swap exchange. So that's one difference.
So when they do a swap, they're actually using an exchange, a centralized exchange. So it's not really decentralized when doing atomic swaps or any swap on Exodus.
Well, right. As far as I understand it, yes. So you bring up a good point here. So in this sense of decentralization in the exchange process, it means that cutting out the middleman. That's where atomic swaps really shine, because even in proxy token dexes or, stuff like Uniswap that uses a contract, like that's a middleman. So like it forces you to take on unnecessary steps and consequently unnecessary fees and such to be able to actually complete your transaction. And also because there's this middleman, there's this, regulatory, gray area here is like, is that considered something like money transmission or whatnot?
Right.
And a lot of, exchanges and dexes have been confronted with this issue. So it's a complex area.
Gotcha. So better to go the atomic swap route, where it seems to be the better route.
Right. Yeah. So recently there was they're called the FATF, so Financial Action Task Force. So basically, it's a group of like 40 nations who decide like what needs to be focused on in terms of like financial crime and all that stuff. And they just released a few days ago their updated guidance, and they have a term which a lot of crypto projects may end up being designated. It's called a virtual asset service provider. So there's a list of criteria on what makes that, but part of it is these exchanges. But what that means is they would have to do like KYC, AML, even like these proxy token dexes. And additionally, not just that, they would have to share this information with, everyone else who's like basically trying to create like a network of information sharing amongst exchanges, wallet services, custody services, all that.
Right.
But, I don't want to speak too soon, but, from reading their guidance, it does seem that AtomicDEX is, exempt from that classification, primarily because AtomicDEX only provides order matching services. So, like the DEX fee that what is paid for the anti-spam prevention is really, and the order matching to actually connect you with a counterparty. Like that's all really AtomicDEX is, right? The atomic swap stuff is just, scripts on chain. It's just like a transaction, really. Especially
and
crafty transactions.
I want to remind everybody, this is Poly Crypto Blog from Komodo, and you're listening to Pirate Chain's weekly meeting.
Right, sorry. I didn't mean to go too far in depth.
I was told to do that every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to highlight that there's certain benefits to atomic swaps over these current exchanges, especially in light of currently what looks to be the guidance for upcoming regulation. So the FATF doesn't generate laws or anything. They recommend guidance, but a lot of nations do follow their guidance, like all the big ones. So, it's just something to be aware about.
Nice. So in essence, AtomicDEX mobile wallet, which you have already, doing pure atomic swaps, not going through a third party like Changelly, which is the reason why we needed to get on there, right? So that they could use them to do the changing. But we don't need them. And, so we're going to be on Changelly. It's going to be great to be part of that exchange alone. But Exodus, I don't know, man. I'm hearing stories, guys. Well, I think I'll leave that for Captain Draeth in the next monthly update. But we need alternatives. Either that or we got to fork the fucking. But other than that, I think, if you think about it, using a centralized service isn't really part of Pirates. It's not what we do. We don't really want to condone that too much, right? I mean, if it's on Binance, that's great. But, or Polo or something, a big exchange that'll make a huge difference, then okay. But, not a dangerous exchange, because the bigger they are, yeah, they still have a chance of dying, but not as much as these little tiny exchanges, which are very dangerous. So if you use even Trade Ogre, guys, if you buy Pirate on TradeOgre.com, take your money out right away. Don't ever leave your money on the exchange. But if you guys take a minute and go look at the AtomicDEX, I believe it's in the Google Play Store, right? You could get it.
Yes, Google Play and the Apple App Store. The App Store, you'll need TestFlight to be able to download it. The links for all this are on AtomicDEX.io. So it's just, if it's easier to find it there.
Yeah, so, people could get used to using it. And hopefully in the future, we have now a solution with, as you heard in this show, or this meeting, that XMR has created something. Well, I think it's Comet.network actually that created it. And they created a way to do atomic swaps with Monero, which in turn actually works for us as well, which is great. So we got a bright future ahead of us, and at the same time, possibly, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe we can make a privacy DEX and fuck it. We don't allow any coins that are not private on this DEX. I think that's the way we're gonna have to swing this. What's your thoughts, guys? Privacy coins only? Can anybody hear me?
Wait, say that again?
Huh? I think this is where we cut the show, guys. So, thanks for coming, Polly. That was really enlightening knowledge about AtomicDEX and Auto. I want to thank both of you guys for Komodo platform for coming today. Captain Draeth, any closing words for our pirates?
Yeah, stay private and, let's keep pushing forward.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming. This is Lutz, signing out.